Oh, gee. All right. Well, let's we're going to record today because this guy trains so well and he understands this call is to make people independent with crypto and he understands Texacoin like nobody else. Between him and his dad, they just know it all and they complement each other in so many ways. And so I would always, Lonnie, be remiss not to mention your dad with all that he did for this team, because
Oh, definitely.
the things that he did for this team at the beginning were uncanny. We put in hundreds and hundreds of people in a matter of weeks, and so we just so appreciate him. But we appreciate you so much getting to know you and getting you on here and being willing to do the same for everybody. Cory, do you want to do the rest of this introduction and take it away? I know that you guys have been corresponding and you kind of lined up these trainings. So let me go ahead and allow you to do that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You guys, thank you for joining us this morning, and I am very excited to introduce. Yeah, Lonnie and I have been talking back and forth here and there. We have both. He didn't know it, but I was in the group of the Telegram account that we are using to do the grassroots of the social media for Texacoin's X account, so that we can build up two things: the social media and what Lonnie is going to teach us today, which is the trading aspect side of things. But Lonnie's an awesome dude. I can tell we'll get along very nicely. And he's got many, 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 I think 15 years in the trading world. He's got a very impressive YouTube channel. And if you guys want a wealth of knowledge, make sure you're following him on YouTube and get involved. The more you get involved, the bigger we get. And I'm excited to introduce Lonnie today. What's up, Lonnie? Take him out. Take him
Hey, good
in.
morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning,
So,
Good
Lonnie.
morning.
kind of the hot topic that seems to be is that everybody's been asking about the bots and trading and stuff. And so we wanted to get a video. And of course, last week I had some audio issues, but I think I got it fixed now. Am I good to share my screen, guys?
Yes, you're co-hosted.
Cool. How do I want to do this? Over the shoulder. One. How's that look?
Yes, we can see it
Wonderful.
and you.
That's good. Okay. So kind of when you get on the web, the web version of this, you'll get in here, and the first thing you have to do is obviously deposit some cash. Uh, with Pionex, there's a little bit of an onboarding process. Their banking is not the fastest, so if you are able to get USDC, whether it be Coinbase or Robinhood or one of your other apps that you already have established, or already have rooted to your bank, whether it's USDC or USDT, that's going to be your quickest way to on ramp and off ramp. So just make sure you kind of have that tool built in. And I have a video going through that on the channel. But once you have money in, you come over here to the trade side. First thing you have to do is make sure that you have it in USDT for TXC, because that's what they're paired with. So I got to convert mine. I threw in some money here, and Pinex makes it very easy. Right in that trade tab, come here to convert. Hit convert, and it takes just a couple seconds. And then when you're ready, you come back to the trade side. The spot trading is when you're going to manually enter your own trades. So those are you looking at the order. If I wanted to buy, 76 worth, I got to get my order up here to 203.39, because these are your orders, but these are essentially what the bots will call grids. So whenever they're setting up a grid, you're setting up multiple buys and multiple sells across it. Because then when you come into the bot tab, there's a ton of different bots that they have. Some of them are geared towards special types of things or certain things that you're trying to do. Um, I'll just touch on a couple of them, because like these are more when you're trying to like sell or chase just a little bit, and it's like a stop loss, basically just automatically creating orders for you. I would ignore these ones. These ones are if you for much, much bigger accounts, almost like broker accounts. Again, ignore those ones. And the advanced grids, kind of same thing, ignore those ones. So it's kind of these three in the most popular side. Rebalancing is if you're trying to buy two coins at the same time, where if you say, I want to have $200 between Bitcoin and Texacoin and you set a percentage, it'll automatically, if Bitcoin makes profit, it'll fill up TXC and it just kind of keeps balancing back and forth. Martingale is like an auto one where it'll, as the price goes down, every time it goes down, it'll make a bigger buy to try to dollar cost average for you and bring it down. Kind of complex, also not too crazy. The most popular one that everybody likes to do, or that I suggest for everybody to kind of do, is the grid trading bot. And when you're in this one, you can do the copy strategy, which is where it's using OpenAI or DeepSeek, depending. I think the international one uses DeepSeek and the US one uses ChatGPT. Basically, they analyzed the chart over the last 7 days and they recommended doing this strategy. What the AI ones, from what I've noticed and a lot, when you click on this, it's going to tell you that I don't have enough money to do their strategy, but I could look at the parameters and see what they're suggesting. And what they suggested is 189 grids, and that's why I didn't have enough funds. Because what you'll see when you're setting these up yourself is that you can have 200 to 500 grids, and again, those are the orders. So like when you have 10 grids, you're most likely, you're going to, on the initial rollout, you'll have more buys. So you'll end up probably with like 6 or 7 buys. And then you'll have, once those buys are filled, it'll turn those all into sells, but you'll still have some trailing buys in case the price goes down so you can keep averaging down. So kind of the easiest way to think about it is there's multiple orders, but you'll see like as you do, let's just do 1 and 5 for now. But you'll see like as you place the grids, it tells you how much money you need for it. So 50 grids is $121 to $141 to start. Oh, if I do just 10 grids, you only need $26 to start. And it kind of gives you a range of what would be, well, the 141 I think is what I put in there. But so for as little as like $30, you could start one, and the 10 grids is totally fine. It'll work. And if you want to do more, you could do more. Looks like I can go up to like 55 with the dollars that I did. But a good way to think about this or remember this is when you have less grids, you're going to capture like this wick where it spiked really big. Less grids are going to wait for that order and catch a big one, a bigger move. Because you'll see that each grid is set up on a 10 grid order. Each grid is set up to get 9.5 to 44% per trade. So it won't be very active in this when it's moving kind of tightly. But when there's a big spike, you'll probably catch that one if you caught from here to here. So then if you do more grids, the profit per grid goes down to 1.45 to 7. It'll still catch some of those spikes, but that's going to trade really well in this range, which will be more of an accumulating bot. So like you're going to make essentially say, like I'll show you the details on this one that I have that's been going. And when you look at the transactions, you can see that it's doing or it bought here, the buy is on the bottom, bought at 183.33, and then it sold it at 2. And the price that I bought at was, for the total volume of what I did was 7.6 and then 8.34. So I only made 70 cents on each one of these transactions, but it made a lot of them. And this is a 25 grid bot, kind of what we were looking at setting up again. So not a huge number. And then you can see that my 10 grid hasn't done hardly anything, hasn't even made a trade yet. 0 rounds, 0 trades. But my 25 grid bot has made 7 total rounds right here. Let me see if I could bring this up. Where did it have it all? Overview. No. Where is it? Placed orders. 7 trades. Yeah. Okay. So 7 was the total trades and 1 in the last 24 hours. I'm sorry. So this is the total amount since I started it was 7 trades. The last 24 hours, it made 1 trade. And as you can see, Right now, it's set up to where I'm trying to buy more, or I actually am trying to sell more. This is my 25 grid. So I have 7 buy orders. If the price comes down, it'll average down more, and then it'll set new sell orders. But from where I'm already positioned in, I have 17 sell orders because this bot is actively holding. So when you come in, let's just go set one up real quick. Kind of a suggestion that I've seen from running these for a while is it kind of helps to have two. And or at least with TXC's price right now, because it's done these spikes and then it accumulates spikes and then it accumulates, is it's worth having the one with less grids. Start one with like 14 grids or something, more than 10, but not crazy. And that's going to catch those bigger days. So 6% to 30% per grid. And maybe I don't want to go crazy on that one, but I'm going to throw like the 40, dyslexic 41. I'm just going to throw my change in that one. And then you come down here and hit create. And it's going to show you how the breakdown is on the initial rollout is. So when this bot starts, it's going to position itself where 83% of its holding is in TXC and 16% of its holding is in USDT to average down if it comes down a little bit more. The price range that it's going to operate, I'm just going to do 1 to 5. If it goes below $1, it'll pause. And if it goes above $5, it'll pause. The reason you want to set a price range on the top is just in case there's one of those random days where it just blows up and goes to like 10 and then comes back down. You'd hate for your bot to get stuck holding some $10 TXC and then not be active when it wasn't a real price move. So then I just hit continue and created successfully. So now I can see that that bot is positioning and you'll see that the profit's kind of moving. Typically, you're going to start down right away. It doesn't just fly up and instantly go into profit. And it can't make profit if the price is going down. So don't expect to see some red. Again, most of mine are red because a lot of mine I started up when we were around the 350, 380 price. And I just left them because they're all accumulating and trying to get a couple more TXC. So once they go green, I should be very, very green. But as of right now, those are all sitting kind of negative. So now I have $100 I still want to do. It suggested in that copy trade. Let's just look at what this one was just to see. 98 grids. So again, it's the AI version with how the chart's been going over the last while is suggesting a lot of grids. So we're going to do the same thing, lower limit of 1, upper limit of 5. And then how many grids can I do for $100? I think it's like, oh, what a good guess, 40. So 40 grids. And if I want to just do my percentage, I just slide my bar, $100, 40 grid, start. It'll show that now I'm going to be closer to an 80-20 distribution to start. And my profit per grid is going to be in that range. And we hit continue. Boom, created successfully. Now that bot should help push that bot into profit. So that's nice of me to help myself. But that's kind of your basic on starting them. And then when you do look to like close them and stuff, once they are running, if you come into the detail, if I want to tell everybody and show it on Post-it or whatever, one of the things to look at when you come into the more, if I want to edit the price range, because it's starting to move above 5, like once TXC kind of reestablishes itself in the 4s, and you feel comfortable, you could obviously push the price up and say, okay, let's make it, I want to make this range from $3 to $6 now. You can kind of trail that bottom just in case there's a large sell wick down and you don't want to get stuck. So you can kind of bring it up with you and just edit that price range as the price is moving, or you can let it go into profit, stop it, and then kind of reassess and restart another one at a different time. Releasing the profit is, so when they set up initially, you're gonna see them. They'll make you money and they'll stay with the original investment, and every time it makes profit, it's going to become USDT that you can use. But in the where is it? I think mine automatically do it. There's a way. Oh, add. No, not add. More. there's supposed to be a check mark, and I don't see where it's at. Placed orders, transactions, parameters. Oh, right here. I'm sorry. Right here, when you go into the parameters, after you come in where you bring the bot up, this one right here is to reinvest the profits automatically. Make sure that's checked, because what that's doing is keep building your pot. So if you're trying to get TXC, the whole goal is to accumulate. Like where this one did 7 trades making 70 cents is the equivalence of 2 TXC that I accumulated in that however long that one's been running. I don't remember when I started that one. This one. When did I start it? I think I started back when it was around 2. So this one's right here, active for 5 days. In 5 days, this one accumulated 2 whole TXCs by making 70 cents per trade. So 2 TXC is the equivalent of, what are we doing, 0.4 a day mining. So 7 or 10 days is what that would have taken me to get, and my bot was able to do it in the same time. So I basically doubled my my mining yield. So when you go into your parameters on the review, when you're checking on them, go to parameters and just make sure that your reinvest profit is on, and that way it's accumulating and taking that profit. And as the bot's building its account, it's also building your TXC holding. I hope I didn't go too fast. I don't know if anybody has any certain questions on any of them, or wants me to touch on any of the other bots or anything.
Lonnie,
Anybody is welcome to ask questions. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Cory.
Sorry, Thomas. I was just going to say, Lonnie, do you recommend setting up multiple, like, let's say, like you showed how, have maybe around 10 to 12 grids for taking the big movements.
The big move, yeah.
And then maybe setting up a couple more. So I've got 3 running. I'm going to put a 4th one in for maybe the big movement. So I guess the question would be, for creating this volume, right? And what we're trying to achieve here with a lot of people is maybe setting up a couple of grids, one with, copy bot, where you got multiple grids,
Yeah.
lots of grids like you just showed, and then maybe a second or a third one with the same, or like a kind of a bigger movement.
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of the strategy that I've kind of seen. I mean, I have a lot going right now. I would love for some of them to get in profit so I can kind of condense them. I think the a good numbers 2 with TXC right now, just because of its price movement and its volume, to have that, like a 10 and a 40 or a 10 and a 50. The exact numbers aren't 100%, like it needs to be 37 grids. Like there's no, oops, I set the wrong number. It's just kind of a more and a less. But I think that 3 or 4 is probably the most ideal, because you should have something in the middle too. One that's kind of balancing between both, as far as capturing the big moves. When a new pool of liquidity comes in, or a couple new excited investors come in, and you see the price is so susceptible to those moves, because when you look at coin market cap, on the plus or minus 2%, it doesn't take much to make this thing start jumping really big. Somebody comes in with $200, they could spike the price really fast if they place the order themselves. These would be like market orders. If somebody placed a $200 market order, it would jump the price 2%. The kind of nice thing about the bots is when they go in there, they don't flood, flood by it and just run through the order. They set these fractional orders, and they kind of space it back and forth, so it doesn't instantly start and spike the price. You kind of get it in at a good average. And yeah, so definitely, if I was to write a how-to suggestion, I would say, something between 10 and 15, something between 20 and 25, and then something between 40 and 50 would be a good 3 count. And then if you want to add one or in between there, or even like a 100 grid and get real crazy, that'll really stir some activity. I do have one, I think, that hit set 100. I don't know if I remember which one it was. I set a big grid count. So I have 24, 40, 14, 25, 10, 55, 77, 22, 33, 44, 20. I think I reduced that one. I did have 100 on that one that was 77 and I lowered it down because of the price move. But I have a bunch going right now just to kind of see and how they're all acting. Of course, a lot of them I started at 376 um was my starting range. So those are all out of profit right now, and they don't look really pretty. But yeah, if you can get one to capture the big moves and big profits, get one to kind of accumulate on the in between when it's consolidating, and that's building your TXC little nest egg. And then as far as the other one, you go kind of in the middle, or you can go on the extreme.
So I've got two now. One's 189 and one's 192 grids. Is that obnoxious or
It's not crazy. I mean, you're definitely creating the frequency and the volume. The cool thing is like, so when you're on Coin Market Cap and they're reporting the volume, every buy order and every sell order counts as volume. So if you bought $100 and then sold $100, that's $200 of volume that went across on the day, um, for their reporting purposes and that consistency. So those 192s, that's what Chat GPT is suggesting. It's not wrong
Mhm.
by no means, and that's it's their take. When I did the little 10-day challenge that I did, I never went too crazy because I did them on smaller accounts, thinking most people aren't going to throw in um a bigger pot at this, and I honestly didn't want to throw a huge pot at it either. And I did $100 in like the 48 grid, and then I did $100 in 22, and then I was kind of trying to trade manually as well. And that this was back uh, in the end of November, middle of November. So that 22 grid captured like 15%, and the 48 or whatever grid it captured like 12. So they're pretty close still, even just because TXC's price just hasn't quite all the way formulated a true market structure yet. It's still building. So the moves will be erratic.
Nice?
I don't think 192 is obnoxious. So I mean, you're definitely contributing to a lot of volume. You're
Yeah,
probably
that was
one.
my goal. That was my goal for the first two bots. I'm that was great information for the number of grids. I know that's probably a question that a lot of people were thinking. And
Yeah,
um,
that's definitely the most common. So like if you want to do it yourself, Pionex does let you set your own grid by when you're wanting to do it manually. And that's great when you're coming in. If you want to come in with a large chunk, like say you run the grid or the bot for a while and then you get out and you're like, I want to just hold for a little bit. Setting these grid buys is a great way to average in and not just totally floor the price, because right now there's just the liquidity is so thin on these exchanges. Um, if you did a market buy or a market sell, which is what we've seen quite a bit, unfortunately, the price moves pretty erratically. So um, Pinex definitely has some really cool tools, and then also the lowest fees. The bots are free to use, which is nice. They just have a little bit higher fee structure per transaction, which is still less than Biconomy, who's deemed the second best of what TXC has as far as fees go. So kind of a cool thing to know that you're making a lot of volume and you're not really having to pay for anything crazy.
Janelle asked, where do we see where TXC is accumulated?
So you're gonna have to do that math. I don't think it won't tell you specifically until you close it. Let me see. Let me bring up mine. I'm weird and I do that math on my own. I don't think it tells you. What is this one? Should set up a name. Uh, unless you write down what the start position was, because it's gonna tell you what your current is. Like when I started it, won't go back and tell me. But when you on the day that you started, you could write down what your position was at the start, and then you would just see what accumulates over it, because this is going to show you your current total buy. Nope, yeah, it won't show you an accumulation checklist like that. But if you kind of go through and you kind of see on the transactions, um, and this one initially started at 205. Oh, there you go. Initial buy quantity was 76.75. Balance change history. And now I'm holding average trades per day. Overview 73 with $51 in USDT, and I started with 76 on the initial buy. That was because it rolled out and started with everything. So that would be, I guess, where you would see the accumulation. I didn't even see that before. So good question, because found it.
Nice.
Sitting at 73 with $51. So once this fully allocates, I have another 10 more, 6 more that I should be able to buy depending on the price that it buys them at.
Such good information.
It's kind of
Any other
kind of good
questions?
value. Oh, go ahead.
No, just seeing if there's any other questions out there. You can either raise your hand on the emoji or put it in chat or whatever might be the case.
I haven't seen the chat.
Hey, Lonnie, this is Mark.
Hey, Mark.
So would you recommend what one of the goals of this is trying to, as Cory was talking about, creating volume and getting more interaction. And so would you put like maybe $200 in there and that would hold it, or do you keep putting in every month
Keep
more?
Yeah, you can add when you go in there and you have your bot on details, that add investment is right there. You could add it right here. If it doesn't mess up the grid, if it doesn't mess the bot up too much, most of the time it'll just add to the funds and not change any of the parameters. I feel like I did one the other day though, and it created a new bot for some reason, but then I couldn't find it. So I think it did something really weird where like it started it and then it combined them afterwards. So if it looks goofy when you do that off the start, that's probably what it did. And then it combined them. Um, as far as a suggestion of adding investment or just doing one and leaving it, that's kind of how you want to play that. Right now I've kind of been doing the stacking them and just building new ones each time, mostly just to see the parameters and what they're doing, and then kind of my motive, it's they're not sabotaging each other to have 12. I do have too many. I probably on a if you were to ask anybody, they would tell you that 12 is too many, so I would avoid that. I think the sweet spot really is between 1 and 5, is you don't want to have more than 5 going. So that's why I say once I get some of these in profits, I'm probably going to close a couple of them, and then I'll either or I'll manual trade more with that funds, or I'll add to the ones that are successful that I like. Um, yeah, don't go too crazy creating 12 or 20 bots all working kind of against each other on your account. If you keep doing the same parameter, same parameter, got to make sure that there's some variance between all of them.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Guys, we got him while we got him. So if you got questions for Lonnie, now's the time.
Yeah, even if it's not a bot, ask me something else too. I don't mind.
All right, tell me how to turn it off of the daylight and turn it on the dark mode.
Oh yeah, that is right here. This button, dark mode, right here, top right corner. And then
Perfect.
this is weird. Don't do this. I don't know why they even have this as a feature. You can make the colors switch to where buys are red, and I don't know if that's because you're colorblind or I don't know why you do that. But if something looks goofy, where your candles are opposite, you accidentally bump this one. I don't know why they do that. Why they even have that as an option.
I have a question. This is Phyllis.
Hey,
Is this a set it and forget it, or is there any kind of monitoring that you recommend um,
I mean, I would
once
peek
you've
on
set?
them. Yeah. I mean, I definitely set them and forget them. I'm not worried about them. Because that's where your price range that you're setting, your lower limit and your upper limit. As long as it's operating within that range, the price is in that range. You kind of don't have to worry. It's accumulating. It's obviously sometimes it's going to be red because because they can't make. I mean, if the price goes down like this, nobody can make money unless you're doing a reverse grid bot. One of the bots that you could do, I guess I should touch on that one. Is like if you already have TXC and you're trying to sell into it without dropping the price, you would do a reverse grid bot. This is if you're starting with TXC and you're trying to switch into USDT to then kind of balance out. Um, but as far as like while it's going and if the price is in its range and it's trading kind of normal, you don't have to really monitor it too much.
Okay, so if something crazy happens, and if I'm just going about my day, and then I see TXC is like up to like higher than what I set my upper limit for, then I need to take
If
some action.
Yeah, so if that was to happen, um, say you like I think some people had it set around $2 and we dipped it below $2 last night. So what it does is when you're on your bots and you come up and you have this list of all of them, right above it, it'll say this bot is paused, and it'll have a little yellow warning. So if you were to like be if you were to have gone throughout your day and you had a threshold of $2 to $4, and sometime in that point the price spiked up to 5, it would stop trading while it's above 5. I think it's supposed to automatically start when it comes back, but I always restarted mine before I waited that long to see if it restarted automatically, and I believe it does. If as soon as it's back in that range, it'll start trading. But I just have always moved it to create it. I just wait for the candle to balance so that it's not ping ponging. Like once it's reestablished. So like when we were dropping, I had a lot of mine set at 2, or well, I had them set at 3, and then I had them set at 2, and then we dropped below 2. I think we hit 70 cents a couple times on those low giant swings. I just waited for it to come back up and be a full body candle, and then I'm like, okay, I'll lower it to 1, um, uh, and then I restarted it.
Got a question on here. Of course, we don't give tax advice, but she's actually asking for where reporting is. Do you
Yeah,
know if Pionex has a tax report we can generate for all of the transactions, or do we need to manually figure it out when it's time to do our taxes?
no, I saw it on here the other day. I don't remember where it was.
And I ran across it when I was downloading something earlier too, and so I know that it's on
I
there.
saw it on there. It was over here on the left screen some. I don't remember where I saw it though.
It just whatever you just hovered over, I saw something that said taxes.
You did? Where did I just hover?
Yeah, wherever you were hovering over something
Support.
there, support
Oh, right there. There you go.
taxes.
Support and then taxes. I would say it should. That's part of being the U.S. friendly one is it's keeping all that information for you and right. U.S. regular. I think New York still has a hard time using Pine X is what everybody's been saying. Even the U.S. friendly one. Jeez. Let's see.
Any other questions? Of course, he put in there his YouTube now. So at Charts and Labs,
Oh yeah. Let's see.
and I see it now, and I did subscribe to the right thing. Okay.
I've been playing with the thumbnails, but this is me.
So, Lonnie, for those of us that are just starting this kind of stuff out,
Sure.
when you talk about the lower and the upper limits
Mm-hmm.
and the amount that you would put in, what would be a good starting total amount to put in? And then what would be a good recommended lower and upper limit?
So I think what I did on this one would be kind of what I would tell everybody. Um, when you're in there, um, with the price range that we're at now, I'll go to Coin Market Cap, so it's a more genuine price. This candle came all the way down to 140. If you're comfortable with it going down into 140 to keep trading, I mean, I'm not going to say it's without a doubt or with a yes or no, but there's obviously a potential to come back into this 150, 160 range right here with based on these last couple candles. So if you're comfortable with it going down to one in trading, you could get away with one. 150 would probably be a good number based on this one because the low was 158. Um, and then the high, we're looking at, these ones were in the $4 range was a range that we were trying to fight to get over. Once we get over four, it kind of is going to be, it should run pretty quick back up to the five range. So I don't think we're going to see a blow off like this move where we're going to run all the way up to seven unless, something crazy comes in there and starts firing. And the cool thing is you could always start the bot again. So as far as the lower limit suggestion, I would either pick somewhere between 1 and 150, kind of what you feel comfortable with. Again, I don't think either one of them is wrong, and you're not going to lose if you did one, and you're not going to lose if you did $1.50. Um, it's kind of more just the activity level that you want it to be in, and if you want to, monitor it closer if it flirts with that level. Um, and then the upper limit, I would set it between 5 and 6 right now, just because the $5 nudge zone is going to be very resistant. We already know that's going to be a hard time, but if some positive catalyst really did happen, you could see this thing run up and maybe bounce off of 6 before coming back into that $4 to $6 range. Um, so I've set a lot of mine as a 1 to 6 for the range. 1 to 5 is a totally fine range if you want to avoid that kind of blow off the top and then come back down. Um, and then yeah, it's kind of preference. I don't think there's an exact right for that one. It's kind of what you're comfortable with.
Right. And you said the range somewhere between, or the grids somewhere between 10 and 20. Is that what
Yeah,
you
I
said?
would do at least 10. I wouldn't do less than 10. I mean, you could go all the way. You could do two if you want. Um, if you were to set just two, 1 and 6, it's gonna set for huge prices. The first sell is going to be at like $5 or $6, kind of depending whatever you sell. So that's why I say the low grids is not worth it. 10 would be the lowest that I would go to start it, because then you're looking at capturing 10% moves at least. And then but that's going to take a 10% move for it to happen. So as we see a lot of days or a lot of times, you're not going to see a 10% move very often. So that won't create a lot of activity. And then as you pick up to more grids, you're going to get that more of an accumulation. You're not going to get big profit, but you're going to get more coins in the trades. So and with the higher frequency, that's what the institutions are doing. They're doing these trades with 5 decimals, and probably I think when you do when you go into the institutional bots, they're infinity grids, and they're just set at tiny little fractions, trying to capture every little move up. Whatever the fee is, they go above that enough to where they're making a fraction of a penny, and they don't care that they're only making tiny profits. It's all about the accumulation and getting a lot more action. So I would do 10 as an absolute minimum. I don't think I would go over 100. I know Cory said he's got a couple that the copy strategy was way up there. Um, if I was manually setting one, I would probably stay between 10 and 100. But that high frequency stuff is going to come based off of doing 200 grids or more, and you're just going to get that accumulation. So um, I know, Cory, I told you that was okay. I'm not going back on that, but for like the average person to go in and set up, I think between 10 and 100 would be kind of the range I would party in. If you want to go in with a bigger amount, because that is going to take a $350 to $500 initial stake, then yeah, 200 grids, 150 grids, and then just let it ride and let it accumulate a bunch of activity for you. But I think you could get away on the 100. Go to bot, sorry, and then customize 1, 6, 50. 50 is $126, so it's a pretty attainable amount or easy amount. And then I think you go up to 80 with or 80 with 200. Yeah, 80 is $200. So trying to stay within a kind of a smaller, easier fun to let ride. But again, it's kind of based on your the funds that you want to bring in.
Would you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Whoever that was.
No, go ahead, Cory.
Oh, I was just going to ask if it's would be beneficial or helpful on this call, or we could do it after Lonnie is record. I've got some fresh funds in Pionex on my mobile, to maybe walk through setting up a couple of, a couple $100 worth or something on separate grids and show people
On
that.
mobile. I know a couple people have asked that. If you're able to screen record and then I can talk you through it, or I could just do a screen record and make a video. I don't have a way to make my mobile with the audio for me talking over it, unless I do a secondary edit thing, and I'm not that smart. But yeah, we could do a mobile version. It's not too crazy. Depending, are you iPhone or Samsung?
I'm iPhone.
Yeah, iPhone too. Cool. I think the layout's pretty smooth. On the bottom, it's just your home, market, bot, buy, sell, and everything. So, and you just click
Yeah.
on bot, and then create is at the top. So, and then the parameters are the same. And I think it goes straight to the custom grid bot when you click
Did
on
you
that
want
on
to
the
share
mobile.
on your phone, Cory?
Yeah, I think if people will find that helpful, like I know um, a couple people were asking
I
me.
did have a couple people ask that, so I think that is a good one.
Okay,
Okay.
well, I can share real quick, and then
Yeah,
yeah, we've got
on.
a lot of messages coming in. I figured people would want to see that. All right, you want me to share now, Lonnie?
Yeah, go ahead. You want me to turn
Okay.
mine off?
Yeah, I think we'll probably need to. Let me see.
There you go.
And we are recording this, so I think it should be okay.
Yeah, I'm recording too on
Okay.
mine, and I'll throw it on my YouTube channel if that's a good place for some people to find it.
You
Yeah,
betcha.
that's probably best.
We'll
All
post
right.
it as well.
You guys can see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Cool. We're at the home screen. So,
Nice.
Lonnie, if you want to give the tutorial, so let me just show you what I've got so far. I've got, this is the 189. This is the grid. I've got 3 bots going here, 3 grid
Yep.
bots. And then if you go look to the details and the parameters of this one, you'll see I have 189 grids on this one.
Yep. And you have the automatic reset on. Perfect.
Yep, automatic reinvest
Yeah.
profits. And then this one is parameter. This one is at 193 grids. Automatic reinvest is on. And then I have on this one, we've got 78 grids. So
Nice. Yeah. That's a good little balance.
hold on 1 second.
You're creating a lot of volume with those, so that's great.
Okay, perfect. So
So when you
so
go
I've got
back, yeah, well, you started on the bot tab from the bottom, and then at the very
okay.
top of the screen, you see the create button right underneath bot.
Okay.
and then it brings you right to the screen. So then it's going to show you, you can go across the top, the different strategies if you want to follow one of their strategies, but for the sake of simplicity, we're just going to go into the most popular, the grid trading bot.
Okay.
Default use shows you the different types of the copying.
And
Oh yeah, you have
you
to choose your coin first.
yep, so that's right under choose a coin. I
Choose a
click that.
coin, and then the little search button for the on the top right is free to find it. Look, there you go, spot history search right there.
Yeah. All right.
Perfect.
TXC.
And again, same thing. So the 7-day, 30-day, 180-day, those are all, and it says how it's back tested. That that 7-day is based on the last 7 days of trading. The 30-day is based on the last 30 days of trading. And the 180 is based on the last 180 days of trading. And it kind of shows you the volatility and like what TXC has been doing in that range of days. And that's why it took a 7-day chart, sent it to Chat GPT and said, hey, what would be a good trading parameter? And that's where it came up with, hey, you should do 189 grids because this thing is very volatile and you want to accumulate. So that's where it's coming up with its settings. And if you want to copy that, boom, just copy it. I would use the 30-day over the 7-day, just because the more days that you allow it to base off of, it's going to be more accurate with the trend kind of thing. But from here, I would go to customize unless you just want
Okay.
to follow the bot, and then we're going to set our price range. The lower doing 150, and then the highest we would do 5, and then click on the grid tab, and we can say uh, 50 or 100 or whatever you want to do. And then it comes and it tells you what the minimum investment is, the 8885. In order to set that grid, you have to have at least 88 88 85 available. And
We'll do 94.46.
94, yep, 94 for a 50 grider.
Oh,
And
let's
then
make it an even 100 because I like even numbers.
I feel you on that. Even or repeating, I'm a weirdo like that. So
Yes.
and then hit create. You don't have to mess with the advanced settings. And then it tells you you're going to distribute 85% into TXC and have 14% on standby to average down for the initial rollout, and hit OK. Boom. And then you're going to see it kind of come in as we're buying. It's trying to get the value, because what it's doing is it's placing those orders in at the ask to get the initial one. But then it's also putting some of those orders below the ask and some of them above the ask, because it's going to try to balance in without creating a price spike on its entry. It doesn't want to, you're starting at 209 and it shows your average is 20909, 2910, and that'll go up as it's getting in, because it's going to try to execute it within 60 seconds, within a minute or two. It's not going to sit there and let the order take 10 minutes to fill up. It's going to try to do it quickly, but it's not doing it all in 1 second at least. So that's why you're not getting a crazy spike.
Okay.
Now,
Now, what if
good.
oh, sorry, you continue your thoughts.
No, no, no. I was just saying you'll see that the price is going to kind of settle as it's making the buys.
Yeah, it's got a like pretty crazy percentage going
Yeah, it
there.
shows you here. Base, if you let this thing run for the rest of the year, you're going to have a 90,000% gain if it's able to make this same percent every single second.
Right. That's nice.
So is the idea you set it for 30 days. So
Mhm.
do you go in there and play with it during that 30 days time frame, or
No,
you just say, all right, I'm not touching it for 30 days?
yeah, no, no. The 7-day, 30-day, and 180-day is not how long the timer of it's running. It's going to run as long as it's within the range. The 7, 30, and 180 is based on the past. So it's analyzed the last 7 days of TXC, and this is what it suggests. The 30-day, it's taken the last 30 days of TXC's chart and analyzed it, and then that's what it suggests. and then the other one's 180. So that's not like a projection of 30 days forward for you to run the bot for 30 days. That's based on the last 30 days of what TXC has done price wise for it to analyze and then tell you, like, okay, this is what we should do for going forward. If the price acts similarly to the last 30 days, this will be a profitable strategy, is what it's suggesting.
Okay, now, Lonnie, so I'm sure there's people thinking this as well. So as you've seen, I've got some pretty large grids set up, and then we just did a 50. Now, would
Okay.
it be wise or behoove me if I did say, now a grid to capture, let's say it spikes to
Spikes.
$5 today?
Yep. Yeah, you want to do it either like a 10 or 15, something like
Okay,
that to kind of balance with what you got. So, go
I'll
over
go
there and then
back to
hit
custom.
custom. And then this for if you're doing the smaller grid, I probably would let it go up to a little bit of a higher price. So for this one, I would do the 1 to 6 or 150 to 6. I would either do 6 or 650 kind of as your top end, give it a little bit of a higher ceiling. And then for the grid count, I would just do 10. I wouldn't go less than 10.
Okay. And
And
so
then
this is a $20 to
yep, that one,
397.
so yeah, that one only needs $20 to get active and start going for you. But
Let's do 100 again.
let's do 100 again.
All right. And then create.
Yep. So this one's going a lot more heavily on the initial investment. It's going to be 91.6% TXC balanced and then only 8% for averaging down. So much more focused on getting you more quantity up front for that spike to happen and capture some profit. It's looking to do at least a 9% minimum, and the top end of the grid would be a 36.8. So if a 36% move happened today, this bot would capture that sale.
Perfect. Okay. So we'll go ahead and implement. So I guess like for the people wanting to do this or currently actively doing this with us, I would say a good mix is, a couple of bots at the higher grids to create the volume, which we're trying to do here, and then a couple of bots to capture the big moves.
Yeah, because as the big push is getting this on social media and showing a lot more people. And as they come on and make some buys, $25 is a week of coffee at Starbucks, and you're gonna get yourself, a month's worth of mining TXC or mined TXC. And so somebody coming on as a new person that's going to want to come and test it out, a lot of people will throw $25 at something. There's people who walk by a slot machine and hit $20 and on a spin. So,
Right.
those are the eyes that are going to come from X and from all the social medias that are going to come on and give it a little test. You'll see a lot of $20 to $50, at a time. And all it takes is a couple that start making a little bit of money, and then all of a sudden those $25 gambles become $250 investments. And as that picks up, you know the bigger guys, the big fish that are going to come in with like $25,000, they want to see active liquidity where if they put $25,000 in and they want to take $1,000 out because they've made their profit, they don't want the price to drop 10% to take that order out. So by having these bots, it's similar to what the market makers are doing on Bitmart and MEXC, is creating enough order balance to where when somebody does sell to take out profit, it's absorbed. You don't want the price to drop more than 2% on a big sell if you are trying to cash out some profit. So creating a lot of these bots and creating that volume is creating the confidence for not only the passerby to take a peek and take a dip, but also those big guys that want to come and park some money and try to make some money.
Beautiful.
I
Anybody
saw
want to
I
see
saw a
anything
question
else?
in the chat. Somebody is asking if Pionex is better than DexTrade. As far as better, it's going to be a little bit subjective or objective, kind of based on your opinion. And as far as the use of it, as far as better for TXE as a project, DexTrade is considered tier 3 on the exchanges. Um, Bitmart, MEXC are the highest ranked as far as regards those rankings. That tier system is what CoinMarketCap ranks them at. CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, those guys kind of rate the exchanges based on the reserves that they have, based on the liquidity that's available, based on the amount of live reporting and how fast they report to CoinMarketCap and how many users are on them and how many wallets are on them. DexTrade reports the absolute minimum to CoinMarketCap. So when you're looking at a project like TXC that's new and starting and is trying to get verified on CoinMarketCap, DexTrade is not contributing to the verification, um, which again is mostly just for the bigger traders. The tier ones are the Krakens and the Coinbase, those guys, and those are like the initial, and those are the most well respected. So to get invited to one of those tier ones, you got to really build out your tier two portfolio. And so yeah, Pionex is in the tier two because they report more for Coinbase and get a better verification of what's active in the market, how many people are trading. Because Coin Market Cap doesn't want it to be 50 people in a garage, passing the coins around hot potato, trying to see that it's a real project. That's where it's Pinex, Biconomy, WeX, Bitmart, Mexi, and all those.
Okay, I did see one question of do you suggest a VPN?
No.
Okay. And then what was the other ones? Let's see.
What is fold and unfold? I see Sharon asked.
Saw that too, and I don't know where she saw that.
I
Your
think
dad wants you to know he's better looking.
Yeah, it's barely. I would say he's more looking. He's bigger.
Very funny.
PC fold and unfold.
Okay, I see it. I see it. Let me share my screen again real quick.
Was it on the computer or was it on the phone?
It's on the phone. It's when you're creating your bot and you're customizing it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. You see right there at the bottom, advanced settings.
Oh yeah, yeah. So if you open the fold and unfold is to look at the advanced settings. It's just if you want to, the slippage is the spread. So when you look on a trade, um, that the lowest that somebody's asking right now is 212.73. The highest that somebody's bidding is 211.61. So the middle of it is this 212.18. So if you increase your slippage, it'll fill. If there's a bigger spread, you will fill those bigger orders. If you can minimize your slippage when it's placing the order, say it's trying to get this 212.18, the slippage is like I don't know the right word to say it. It's like if it misses the 212.18 and it gets a little bit less, that's the slippage range, like the miss, like how much it can go over or above that spread. Um, so yeah, there's not a lot. Take profit is, if you want the bot to turn off and as soon as it hits this price, you want it to sell everything. The stop loss would be if it hits this price and you want it to sell everything. Um, the geometric and arithmetic is based on the grids. How do you want it to structure it? And the pattern to be set off of. I've always left those as kind of the default. And then investment. So if you do have some TXC and you have some USDT and you want to start a bot from a pool of both, that's where you would go into the advanced settings and go to investment and hit both, because then your bot would basically start with a TXC puddle, and then it would probably focus on more of using your USDT off of that start, and it would just initially sell for you. But yeah, the slippage, the take profit and stop loss, that's on you guys if you want to make sure that it sells at a certain price to capture profit. Probably not a terrible idea to go into take profit and set it for 10 or something, in case there's a crazy spike, to take your profit. But the stop loss is if you want to bail out if it starts going down. The grid mode, I would leave that as the arithmetic because the geometric is doing different order flow, and no need to confuse yourself on it.
Very good.
Okay. Any more questions?
Yeah, Thomas, are you gonna post the recording and our Telegram chat?
I'll have it in the WhatsApps for sure, but yeah, I'll get it over in the training on Telegram as well.
All right, thank you.
I should have a recording going also, and I'll post on the YouTube channel if that's easier for people to track and find if it doesn't, in case it gets lost in Telegram.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. We appreciate that. Lonnie, anything else that's on your mind for everybody, for beginners to people starting to get it?
Well, I guess the only thing that I would say is, crypto's a wild ride, and you're going to see these big drastic swings in price. And let me see if I'll share this real quick. Um, you're going to see big, massive swings and stuff, and don't get married to the calendar of the path to 16 and set it as a benchmark of failure. Um, the liquidity provided was good support, and now the community is building. I've seen a lot of action on social media, and not even just from people who are already here, from new people. I actually I've had 3 messages in the last couple of days of people asking for the link to the site and which exchanges it's on from X. So the social media push is definitely working and getting new eyes on there. Um, you know, don't take this as financial advice of, hey, you need to go buy or we're going to fail. It's not that. This is just an opportunity to take advantage of a price action that we're in, for you to accumulate, to get more coins, more TXC, to be at your happy price of what you want when it is 16 or 20 bucks down the road, excuse me. um and there's tools there, whether it be the Pionex bots or getting on another exchange that's comfortable for you to use, because eventually you're going to want to sell what you're mining, and this is your tool for being able to do that as well, without all the guys who are coming in and going on Dex trade and hitting market sells that are causing these big falls down. If they knew that there was um, the Pionex grid bot that you could go in and you can hit a sell without flopping the market kind of thing, we would see a more balanced price, and that balance and that strength is going to create this project to continue to move up and have more confidence from not only the community but from outside investors who could potentially be coming in.
So in other words, if everybody did $100 a month or did $100 bot a month, that would help provide stability.
Stability, huge stability, because that's essentially what the liquidity that Bobby's putting in to the market makers is essentially what we could be doing ourselves on Pionex as a community. The market makers using Mexi, Bitmart, and Biconomy. Biconomy's in there because it's using the USDC quantity, our trading pair. And then Bitmart and Mexi are obviously the two highest ranked tiers. So it's nice that they're working with both of those to provide that solid liquidity. But that's basically what they're doing, is they're going in there and funding essentially bots to fill in those trades. And when there's no buy orders, those bots have to create orders, and that's where you see the price will just chase all the way down until there's an order. So as more liquidity funds, as more people come in and set these prices and provide the buys to set those like shelves on the way up, we could create our own market maker kind of way using Pinex. You can go on any kind of third party site and get a subscription to get a bot and use it on Mexi or Bitmart yourself, by Economy or XT. There's guys who have that are traders that design their algorithms and basically do these bot setups, and then you can just pay a subscription or buy one for a year or whatever, and go on any exchange and do it. Pionex is just really nice and does it for free for you, and it's built in, and there's no other trying to send money to this exchange to go trade on this with this robot. So it just one less hoop to jump through. But yeah, more money coming in. That's not the projects. That's not from TXC. Is creating a higher liquidity pool, which is that liquidity is stability kind of thing.
Excellent. Thank you for answering that.
Yeah.
What a great benefit of, sorry, I don't know if you were
Thomas, you
talking,
were
Thomas.
muted.
I saw Saw you on mute, but
Yeah, I was muted, but just real quick, please elaborate on Pionex account. How does it benefit Texacoin? If we could summarize that.
Um, oh, what
Kind of what you just said, but
I would
yeah.
say kind of what I said.
yeah. I think that's really what you just answered.
It's
So.
it's a tier. It's a one. It's providing more data. It's telling Coin Market Cap, hey, there's not 50 guys playing hot potato with tokens, kicking them back and forth. There's 6,000 people trading this thing. There's much more activity. So that full report's going to go versus where, if we're comparing it to Dextrade, if that's the same guy asking that. Um, and then again, those active bots are helpful by that liquidity and stability. More exchanges reporting more trades shows that there's more people. Even if you're trading on multiple exchanges, it still says that that's two wallets trading it. So that's more people in the community that is bringing more validity to the project.
Awesome.
And
All
then
right. I think we have hit a little bit of it's almost 8:10. And so Lonnie, if you have any last words, if not, everybody can unmute and give
I saw in the chat real quick that somebody wanted to see the tax one again. It's under
okay.
support. Under the support tab on the homepage, it brings you to the taxes.
Okay, very good. Okay. Awesome. All right, everybody give Lonnie some love.
Thank you, Lonnie.
Thank you so much, Lonnie.
Well done, Lonnie. Well done.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
the
much.
teaching.
job.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lonnie. That was very
Thank you,
helpful.
Lonnie.
You guys
Let's
are
all
welcome.
take action, baby.